All right, we're about to get started here. So we're doing Crown Jewel, WWE Crown Jewel predictions today, and we're about to go live here in a bit. All right, I think we're ready.
All of his stuff looked good, so probably too good because it was probably snug, but he was different in everything that he did. He locked up different. He locked up snug.
Hey, this is your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, and you're listening to Snug Wrestling. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
What's up? What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Snug Wrestling Podcast. I am Edgar. I am your host. Today, we're going to be talking about Crown Jewel. We're going to try to do some predictions. Why? Yes, I know Crown Jewel. We still got some time left for Crown Jewel, and a lot of things can change. But we already know we're going to have two matches, Gunther versus Cody Rhodes, Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan. And those are the two matches that we're going to go over today. We're going to do some predictions, go over what's happening in these matches, what the outcomes can be, and what to expect for these two matches for Crown Jewel. So everyone, welcome. Let's welcome Brandon from Wrasslin Wrestlin Talk. He's the guest of the day today. Brandon, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hey, Edgar. Thanks for having me. Did you get Kurt Angle to do your intro?
Yes, I did.
Holy crap.
Yes,
I was listening to that. I was like, geez.
I was lucky enough to meet Kurt Angle, and he was very, just willing to do this huge favor for me. And it took a couple takes. It took him a couple takes to get it right, but he was so nice about it. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to put you on my intro. I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, go for it. Okay, cool.
Wow.
Thank you, Kurt.
That's
so
great.
yeah, if you ever get the chance to meet Kurt Angle, he's one of those guys that you will not regret it. He's super nice guy. Brandon, so we're gonna go over Crown Jewel, but before we get into Crown Jewel, for the people that don't know who you are, introduce yourself to the fans and tell them a little bit about yourself and your channels and what you're all about.
Yeah, sure. My name's Brandon, and I run Wrasslin Wrestlin Talk. I apologize that the name is such a mouthful. I came up with it when I first created the channel, and it stuck, and whatever. And I just do kind of wrestling commentary, reaction content, whether it be top 5 lists, predictions, ranked lists. On my YouTube channel, I'll do a lot more video essays, mainly a lot of prediction videos where I'll just look at an event a year out, like a WrestleMania or a SummerSlam or something like that. And I just have fun with it. I love asking really goofy questions like, hey, out of these 3 wrestlers, like which one would you get rid of forever? And I'll just throw that out there and get a bunch of responses. And that's typically what the channel's about, just general fandom.
Yeah, we freaking lagged out a little bit there. The last thing that I heard you say was you were asking goofy questions, so let's go from there.
Right, yeah. Well, in my everyday life, I'll ask general goofy questions like, out of these 3 wrestlers, which one would you get rid of forever? And I just decided to funnel that into content. And it's great that people actually give you answers, because in the real world, everyone will just say, I don't care, move on. But in the wrestling world, a lot of people actually want to answer. So that's kind of, generally speaking, the content that I do.
Right on. Well, there you have it, folks. Give Brandon a look, man. It's his content is well worth it. One of the reasons why I wanted to have him on the show, because I was curious of your thoughts for Crown Jewel coming up here pretty soon. Thank you guys so much for the likes and the follows so far. Keep double tapping that screen, share the live, let the people know that I have Brandon here from Wrasslin Wrestlin Talk going over Crown Jewel. So I want to get started, Brandon, with the Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax match first, because unlike the Cody Rhodes and Gunther match, there's so many things going on in this match with, for the women's champions, Liv Morgan and Nia Jax. This buildup started a couple of weeks ago when Liv Morgan unexpectedly showed up on a SmackDown and ended up costing Nia Jax her match versus Naomi. Liv Morgan took Tiffany Stratton's Money in the Bank briefcase, hit Nia Jax, and helped Naomi pick up the win over Nia Jax. So we're off to the races for this feud at Crown Jewel. Now, it's really interesting because at first the WWE was teasing Tiffany Stratton is going to cash in on Nia. And for a second, it seemed like we completely forgot that Tiffany Stratton can actually cash in on Liv Morgan as well, not just Nia Jax. So now that we're about to have this match with Liv Morgan and Nia Jax, we have Liv Morgan in that picture also. So the possibility of Tiffany cashing in on Liv, it's there now. And not only that, wherever Liv Morgan goes, Rhea Ripley is not that far away either. So there's so many things happening in this match. Brandon, what gives? What do you think is going to go down at Crown Jewel with all of these different possibilities? What do you hope to see?
Well, I love the storyline that we're getting right now with all of the women, whether it's Nia and Tiffany from SmackDown, and then Liv, Rhea, Raquel on Raw. I really, the brand split, I was a little bit nervous how it would work out, but I like that WWE kind of holds true to it, because whenever the brand does, split truly and people start crossing over, it's actually like really exciting. I know a lot of people think that we're going to get the Tiffany cash in sooner rather than later. I think we're going to be holding off on it just a little bit. I could be wrong, but I think the amount of teasing that they're doing with it, saying she might cash in on Liv, might cash in on Nia, I think to me that is a bit of a misdirect to where she's not going to cash in on either one. I think they want her holding on to that briefcase just a little bit longer for maybe a larger stage, such as a Survivor Series or one of their other big four PLEs. So I actually don't think Tiffany's going to cash in. I think it's going to be a huge factor in the drama of the match.
Yeah.
Tiffany, I could see a part where Liv and Nia are both on the ground, down and out, and then Tiffany's in the middle figuring out which one to do. But in the end, she chokes or Rhea interrupts and, kind of disrupts it. So I actually don't think we're going to see Tiffany cash in. I actually think Nia is going to walk away clean due to Rhea costing Liv the win. And I just think because WWE, I think they really like the work that Nia's been putting in lately, and myself included. I think Nia's been doing great. She's almost a completely different superstar from her first WWE run. So, I think they're going to want to hold off on this cash in for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Two Sun. Good afternoon from New Zealand. Shout out to Victoria. She believes that Liv is going to win, but Rhea steals it later on. So yeah, shout out to everyone in New Zealand. Thank you guys for joining us. You're absolutely right, Brandon. You bring up some good points, because there's a few reports going around when Tiffany Stratton first won the Money in the Bank briefcase that they want Tiffany, they being the WWE executives, want Tiffany to have one of those Damian Priest runs with the briefcase, because the women's briefcase, the history will tell you that they get cashed in very, very quickly. So I think they want to do something different this time around with Tiffany Stratton. And yeah, I agree that we most likely will see a spot there where they tease a cash in, but I don't think Crown Jewel is the right stage. I think this cash in deserves a way bigger stage, like you said, most definitely. And also Rhea Ripley, she's You think she's going to get involved in this match also?
Well, I think Rhea's going to be occupied earlier in the night or perhaps later in the night, depending on where the match card falls, against Raquel Rodriguez. I think that's a singles match that will happen at some point.
Sorry, go ahead, Brandon. And now I can't hear you for some reason. Are you muted?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, I think Rhea is going to be occupied against Raquel during Crown Jewel. They had a tag match. It was Rhea Tiffany versus it was Liv and Nia. No, it was Liv and Raquel on Monday Night Raw. And during that match, Rhea and Raquel did not touch. I think maybe there was one part where Rhea got pushed into Raquel or something like that. But I think WWE's purposely keeping them apart from each other. And I think that's because that will be the singles match at Crown Jewel. So I think Rhea will be occupied with that match. And I do think it's likely that Raquel will win, but I do think Rhea could probably win that too. It could go either way. But just because she's occupied in that match.
I think you got muted again. Yeah, I can't hear you. Sorry, guys. We're having a little technical difficulty here.
Hello. What about now?
There we go.
Okay. But yeah, I think Rhea will cost Liv the title, the Crown Jewel Championship. I think WWE wants Nia walking out looking like the dominant champion, and Liv already doesn't look like the dominant champion. So what's the harm in her losing?
Yeah, absolutely. Raquel Rodriguez versus Rhea Ripley. That's one of those matches that I've been waiting to see for a really long time. And I think we did see that for maybe like once or twice before Raquel left. I think it was just like a random match though, like on Monday Night Raw or something like that. Didn't really have that much meaning to it. Like this match between Rhea and Raquel Rodriguez, it's like it has a potential to be really, really good. Just really quick, we have a question. Only in Reality wants to know, when is Crown Jewel? I don't remember the exact date off the top of my head. Do you,
I
Brandon?
believe it's not this upcoming Saturday, but next Saturday, November 2nd.
Perfect. There you have it. November 2nd is Crown Jewel. We're getting a head start on the predictions here for everyone, because why not? So you got Nia Jax to win this one. If Nia Jax wins this one, this will be one hell of a win for Nia Jax, man. Like you said, Nia Jax is a completely different athlete now. She's been on a freaking rampage, man. Queen of the Ring, then won the women's championship, and if she wins that Crown Jewel, she'll be the first ever, what is it, women's Crown Jewel champion or something like that.
It makes sense. It just makes sense that she wins that.
Man, I hope we're wrong about this one, man, because unlike you, Brandon, I'm not a fan of Nia, man. She doesn't do it for me.
Gotcha.
Oh man, she, like someone said it on one of my chats the other day. She gives me the ick. Nia Jax gives me the ick.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that's by design, but I actually think she puts on really entertaining matches nowadays. I really enjoyed her 2 matches with Bayley.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens with that one. Brandon, anything else you want to add about Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan at Crown Jewel? Any closing thoughts about that match?
I'm sure Nia will give the Annihilator to Dom. I'm assuming.
Oh man, that move right there. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. Shout out to Alfredo Domingo Garcia. Thank you for the follow. Before we move on to the next match, we're going to go over Cody Rhodes versus Gunther. What is your overall thought about that championship belt? I believe you posted a video about it on your social media, if I'm not mistaken. But for the people that haven't seen that video that you made just yet, what were your first thoughts when you laid eyes on that freaking thing?
I just couldn't help but think it was a bad idea. Just because when I think of a championship belt, I think it needs to be defended. So the fact that it's a championship belt that is more or less a trophy, you almost wish they just change it to like a trophy instead. I think that's a little weird because you're introducing this accolade that's not going to be defended, which renders it a little bit, I don't want to say pointless, but it leans it in that direction. And then my whole thing comes down to the principle of I don't really like seeing my champions face each other and lose to each other, meaning one looks inferior to the other. Again, like in the women's match, if Liv loses to Nia clean, now Liv is going to walk out there looking like a very kind of pathetic champion, or at the very least, like the inferior champion.
Yeah.
If Cody or Gunther, whoever loses, they walk, whether it's interference or clean, they walk out with a loss. And I know that this used to be a tradition at Survivor Series, but I actually never liked it then. I don't like seeing the brand champions face each other. It's not my thing. And then the other thing is, I think it kind of gets in the way of current storylines. I think the women's division has done a really good job of kind of adding it and throwing the Nia and Tiffany story with the Rhea Liv story, and now it's just this one crazy fun story. I actually kind of eat my words on that a little bit. I think the women's division is doing a great job with it. The men's division, I so much want to just see Cody versus Kevin Owens right now, that the Cody versus Gunther pit stop just feels like that, a pit stop where, whether it's Kevin Owens interfering to cost Cody the victory or Goldberg interfering to cost Gunther the victory, it's a little, it just doesn't have stakes in my opinion, but I'm fine with it, as it is. And, I'll always change my opinion if it ends up working. But it does remind me of when Hell in a Cell was first created to be a pay-per-view of its own, where instead of saving the Hell in a Cell concept for when it's truly needed, like Drew versus Punk, Cody versus Seth, once a year, it would be, oh my God, it's Hell in a Cell time. We have to figure out Hell in a Cell matches. It does feel like we might get to that point where once a year, oh my God, it's Crown Jewel time. We got to take our champions and make a program out of it,
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Maria, for your comment. Thank you guys, everyone, for the follow. Keep double tapping that screen. Keep on sharing. Brandon from Wrasslin Wrestlin Talk is here with us going over Crown Jewel. I had a lot of questions when I saw this freaking championship belt because it's like you said, it's going to get defended once a year. And the current champions from both brands are the ones that compete for this championship. So it's like, okay, so every year there's going to be a new champion. I mean, a new Crown Jewel champion. Because, I mean, what are the chances of, for example, Cody Rhodes still being champion next year and then going into retain this Crown Jewel championship? And it's just like, how are they going to do it? I have no idea. Any thoughts on that, Brandon? How do you think this is going to play out? Do you have any ideas about that?
The match itself, or how it's going to be defended year to year?
How it's going to be defended year to year?
I think it's just going to be more so kind of like the Super Bowl, where who was the Super Bowl champion one year, and then next year it's going to be a different one. I don't think they're ever going to do a situation where it's like, okay, Gunther was the Crown Jewel champion this year, and Drew McIntyre is the Crown Jewel champion next year, so now they have to do something. I think it's going to be very similar to other accolades, like the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring winner, or the Rumble winner, or the Chamber winner, or the Money in the Bank winner, where each year you get someone who wins it. And I mean, on second thought, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, because if you think about it, the front half of the year is kind of overloaded with those accolades: Rumble, Chamber, King of the Ring, and Money in the Bank. The second half of the year is really not. So maybe adding a Crown Jewel champion, is a nice other accolade to throw in there. You just wish that it factored into the rest of the year. Like if you win the King of the Ring, you get a title shot at SummerSlam. That I thought that was a great idea. But when it comes to winning the Crown Jewel Championship, I wish that there was something else you won besides the shiny belt. You know, like maybe, I mean, but you're already a champion. So what do you need? I don't know. Maybe you get like a one PLE buy, or it's like, okay, I don't need to defend them. I don't know, but it's just something.
Something, yeah. Something more, I guess, more meaningful than here's just another belt, you know. Unless you can take that belt to the pawn shop and be like, hey, this is worth $10,000. No, I don't know. You reminded me of something else too when you were talking about Kevin Owens. I believe you posted a video also saying you're not opposed to seeing Goldberg come back and have a match. Is that right?
Yeah, I'd be down, man. I'd be down, especially since it's the Triple H era. And I think overall he books people better than Vince McMahon booked them. And Vince McMahon, I do not think booked Goldberg particularly well during his second run around like 2017 or wherever it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, having him beat Kevin Owens and then beat Bray Wyatt as the Fiend. I don't know. But I'd be interested to see what a Triple H era Goldberg is, you know? And I think Goldberg has expressed interest in a retirement match, maybe a retirement run. I know that he's not the most popular wrestler out there, but I still find him entertaining to watch. And if anyone can get him to, you know, a really fun match that's different than the standard, you know, 2 moveset, I think it's Gunther for sure.
Gunther versus Goldberg. How about that, people? Would you guys be down to see Goldberg come back, have a match versus Gunther? Let me know in the comments. Yes, Crown Jewel is November 2nd. It's not coming up anytime soon. We're just getting a head start here for this episode. Zeph James, thank you for the follow. Ramirez Diego, thank you for the follow. Yeah, Brandon, talk about unpopular opinions, huh? Let's bring back Goldberg, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure it's not particularly popular, but here's the thing too. I absolutely don't think he should win. No way should he be beating Gunther. But if it's a one-off, I'm down because I haven't seen Gunther face too many of those legend figures. You know, when WWE was pushing Roman Reigns back as a babyface, he was facing all of their legends, Cena and Brock and Undertaker and all these Triple H and all these guys. I haven't really seen Gunther do that, so I just think it's an interesting one-off, you know. So if I frame it like that, maybe it's not as unpopular, you know. Like I don't want to see Goldberg with the world heavyweight title.
Yeah, definitely not. Jessica Morris, thank you for the follow. Maria says she wants to see Goldberg, but not for a PLE, maybe for a Saturday night main event. Yeah, main event. Yeah, thank you, Maria, for your comment. All right, well, let's get started on this. The main, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the main event match: Cody Rhodes versus Gunther. Now, unlike Nia Jax and unlike Liv Morgan, that match with Cody and Gunther, there's not a whole lot of storylines going on there. Like, I don't even think we can call it a feud at this point. I mean, a lot can change from now to, you know, when Crown Jewel starts. But right now, it just seems like these two guys are just two champions with a lot of respect for one another. And they're just going to have a friendly exhibition match. And there's not really much grudge, not much heat there. It's just going to be a great wrestling match. Now, there is a lot of history between these two guys. Cody Rhodes eliminated Gunther twice from the Royal Rumble. It was 2023. I believe Gunther and Cody were the last two men. Cody Rhodes eliminated Gunther to win the Royal Rumble. This year in the Royal Rumble, they were, I believe, the last four, but Cody Rhodes was the one that eliminated Gunther. So we have that going for that match. Maybe Gunther will finally get his revenge on Cody Rhodes after those two Royal Rumbles. But other than that, there's not a whole much going on right now with these two guys. Do you think this match could turn they can turn up the heat a little bit before Crown Jewel, or do you see this match just going down as like, hey, we're just gonna have this match, and then after the match, the best man wins, and we're gonna shake hands?
I think they definitely have the opportunity to kind of ramp it up a little bit, but I do think they're going to go a different route than Liv versus Nia, where that feud is very physical. Not even between Liv and Nia as much, but just with all the other parties surrounding it. I think with Cody and Gunther, they want to take more of the opposite approach, similar to Cody versus Roman before WrestleMania.
No, you went out again, Brandon. Your mic turned off. Nah. There we go.
Now, good?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. So the opposite of Liv versus Nia is Cody versus Gunther, which I think is similar to Cody Roman WrestleMania 39, where they're not touching. It's all promos. They show respect to each other. No home invasion angles or brawls or anything like that. I think it's a different kind of old school approach to these big title matches, which I'm all for. So I'm sure they'll have a couple more promos where they'll ramp up the heat, and that'll be that. Because I think WWE knows that this feud is not where the drama's at. It's Cody versus Kevin Owens. That's where the real drama is right now. So with all that being said, I do think this match is where Gunther is finally going to get his revenge.
Sorry, Brandon. It went out on you again. The mic did. There we go.
Good. Yeah, I think this is going to be where Gunther gets his revenge on Cody for the Rumble defeats, but I don't think it's going to be clean. I think Kevin Owens is definitely going to be costing Cody the victory, because Kevin Owens is already going to be there probably in a match with Randy Orton, because they're teasing that. So I think Kevin Owens is going to have a great night where he's going to beat Randy Orton to make him look strong going into a title match, and then, cost Cody the Crown Jewel Championship, and then that will set the stage for probably Survivor Series. Since it's in Canada, Kevin Owens is Canadian, that'll probably be the match there.
I'm all for that, man. I'm a huge fan of Gunther. I wouldn't even be mad at that if Gunther became the first Crown Jewel champion, whatever that means, if that means anything to Gunther or not. But put more gold on Gunther. Yes, do it. And it also, if it goes down like that, it gives Cody Rhodes an out. It builds up the feud that Cody has going with Kevin Owens. So yeah, absolutely. I love that finish. And I'm gonna manifest that finish. I want to see that happen also at Crown Jewel. So we got Brandon, we got, because I'm agree with you, Nia Jax to win the women's Crown Jewel champion, and we got Gunther to win the men's Crown Jewel championship.
It's a good night for the heels.
Yes, I love it. I'm all about the heels. We love the heels over here. So far, those are the two matches that we know for sure are going to happen in Crown Jewel. But as we all know, WWE likes to keep the PLEs at 5 matches, right? That means that we have 3 more matches. We saw Randy Orton demand a match versus Kevin Owens on SmackDown to Nick Aldis, which Nick Aldis said, no, we're not doing that, because it's not up to me. It's up to the people up above. And I don't know what that meant, but I don't see no reason why not to have this match. So I think it's safe to say that we will be seeing Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens at Crown Jewel, right?
Yeah, I think you're just going to get a promo between Randy and Triple H where he basically asks him, hey, I need this match. Triple H will begrudgingly agree. And then I think that's another confirmed match for the card.
And when we get this, Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens, I believe you said Kevin Owens has to beat the Viper Randy Orton.
I think he has to. It's kind of a must-win in terms of building momentum for the title match. I feel bad for Randy Orton. He hasn't won a PLE match since Survivor Series 2023, but I think that losing streak will continue.
We got a question here for you, Brandon, from crowned.fvrt, and it kind of goes back to what we were talking about a little bit earlier. They want to know what you think would happen to the new title if Gunther or Cody loses it in between.
Oh, the Crown Jewel Championship?
Yeah, so if they're still say Gunther wins a Crown Jewel Championship in November, but then in December, or for whatever reason, Gunther loses the World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther still technically is a Crown Jewel champion, and he still has to defend it at Crown Jewel, right?
I don't think that's how they're going to be going about it. Granted, Triple H and, the powers that be haven't really explained it too much, but my understanding of it is once a year, whoever the World Heavyweight and WWE champions are, they will face each other for that year's Crown Jewel Championship. So you can almost look at it as each year is a different belt that needs to be defended. And once Gunther or Cody wins this year's Crown Jewel Championship, it'll just go in their lockbox. Like it's not, it's more or less a trophy. That's my interpretation, though.
That makes a lot more sense. Yeah. Right on. Okay. Well, I hope that answers your question, Crown. Thank you for your comment. Memphis Slater believes that there's a theory that there will be Goldberg against Gunther pretty soon. So I think that will make Brandon really happy. Thank you guys so much for the follows, and keep on double tapping that screen. So we have 2 set matches. We predicted 1 match already, Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Do you have any idea what else we might see at the Crown Jewel for the card?
Yeah, Rhea versus Raquel and Roman versus Solo, I think.
Ooh, that would be interesting. What made you predict I can see where you got the Rhea versus Raquel, but why do you think we will be seeing Roman versus Solo?
Well, I think they want the Bloodline to have a bigger PLE presence going, the Bloodline story as a whole, going into this obvious Bloodline versus Bloodline War Games match that we're getting. And to do that, I think they need to at least have a presence at Crown Jewel. I don't think we're going to get a tag thing of like Roman and Jimmy versus Solo and Jacob. I just think we kind of did that at Bad Blood. So I think, and here's the thing too, is they won at Bad Blood, the good guys, Roman, the good guys. So I don't think you want that to be the momentum with a couple SmackDown beatdowns leading into War Games. I think Roman has to have one loss that really shows, oh, this isn't working. Got to bring, they're already bringing in Jay, but we got to fully bring in Jay. We got to bring in Sammy. Let's do the Bloodline versus Bloodline. So I think the loss, as much as people don't want to see Roman Reigns lose, I think for the story, he has to lose at some point. And I think him losing to Solo in a wonky interference protected finish, I think that will set the stage for War Games, just so the new Bloodline feels somewhat on that level. Like, hey, we at least beat you a Crown Jewel. You know what I mean? I just think it's needed. And I don't know I think Roman has been advertised for Crown Jewel. I'm not positive on that. But I just think the Bloodline story will have a presence there. And I think that's the match to make.
God, I hope so. That would be amazing. We have a lot of good questions here on the chat. I got another one for you, Brandon. Do you think, this is from Memphis Slater, do you think it's possible that The Rock will appear at Crown Jewel?
I don't know. I don't think Rock's going to be going to a Saudi show, but I also don't think he's going to be going to probably anything the rest of the year. He alluded on his Instagram. He posted something about him at Bad Blood, and he used the words 2025, which a lot of people allude to. He's not going to be back in WWE until 2025. I definitely don't think he's going to show up at Crown Jewel. I think if he does show up anywhere, there's a possibility he shows up either at War Games or more likely Saturday night's main event. Because War Games, I think it's big enough as is, Bloodline versus Bloodline. I don't know if you need The Rock, although I'd love to see it. But I think Saturday night's main event, is where he can show up, maybe, challenge Cody Rhodes. And I think that will kind of lead us into 2025, where now once 2025 starts, Raw's on Netflix, and globally speaking, everything's on Netflix. So I think that that'll probably be where Rock really wants to amp up his presence.
That sounds amazing. Well, there you have it, folks. Brandon from Wrasslin Wrestlin Talk. If you're not hyped up for Crown Jewel already, then I'm pretty sure hearing Brandon talk about it will get you hyped up. I'm all hyped up. I'm ready for the show now. I'm looking forward to it. I hope that our predictions come true because we got a lot of good predictions here. Cody Rhodes, he's gonna lose versus Gunther. We got Nia Jax winning. We got Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is gonna defeat Randy. Rhea versus Raquel, hopefully, and hopefully Roman versus Solo. Man, that sounds like one hell of a card.
Oh, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Well, right on, Brandon. Thank you so much for coming on to the show and hanging out with us today. Before we get out of here, though, tell the people where they can find you at.
Sure, I'm on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, Wrasslin Wrestlin Talk. Again, I apologize for the name.
Right on. And my name is Edgar. I'm the host of Snug Wrestling. Thank you, everyone, for the likes. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the comments and the questions. And we will talk soon. Awesome.